Izanagi Izanami. Okay? Let's go left side. And what translation? Yang, yin. Yang, yin. Positive, receptive. Positive, receptive. Okay? Now the physical movement is just, he grabs here. I start to pull the yang. Positive, receptive. Izanagi Izanami. Now here I tighten, here, relaxing. Izanagi Izanami. The blend is not the turn. The blend is completed with the turn. Okay? So Izanagi Izanami. So right, left, that's Izanagi Izanami. Up, down, that's Izanagi Izanami. Okay, so we're just going to work on that simple motion. It's simple, but that's not easy. It's very difficult to master. Okay, so let's from a partner, and David Sensei will be back in just a little bit. So I will turn it over to him when he gets his Hakama on. Okay, so I'm sure it's something that you've done. Fingers open, fingers back. Now, good. That's fine. Yeah, good. Okay, now I want you to work on the first part, okay? So in other words, instead of being too quick on the turn, make sure you get this first, okay? All right, so let's try that. Izanagi Izanami. Now don't do the turn, I just want you to work that first part. People pull instead of doing the full blend. Okay, now you're going this way, you're going back towards yourself. It's like you got a photon beam, you're gonna turn your hip. Good, yeah. Okay. Now if you pivot, see how easy it is? Okay? So don't rush the pivot, but just work on this for now, okay? And David Sensei will be out here pretty quick. Yeah, okay. Now what I want you to do is work on just that. If you get that right, the turn's easy. Most people kind of rush the turn. So I'm just kind of like it. Okay? Okay, good. Good. Now, okay, all right? Now, easy. Like this is a hinge. It's not rusty. You don't just pull. Okay. Oh, and okay, good. That's nice. Okay, all right. Anyway, I started them now. You can take the class, do whatever you want.
Okay.
Oh, free and easy, like a swinging gate. Okay. Izanagi Izanami. And don't be too, this is a world of appearances. What sort of looks like. What's that, child? Positive, receptive. Okay? All right? Okay. Yeah. Let's check that one, okay? We're starting this way. Say hi to him before the meeting starts. Meeting's going on. You're in charge of it. Say hi first. Yeah. Is this what you want to do? No? Oh, and then, right? Don't rush it. No, you want to go. You want to start the meeting yet? So say hi first, and then the meeting starts. Okay. Yeah. I haven't said hi yet. Now you don't yell at me because say hi. Yeah. And let's gather, start the meeting. Okay? Yeah, there's a turn. No? What? Well, I just want you to, you're starting this way. Start that way, and then go that way. Okay? Well, okay, now right there, there's a meeting. Say hi to me before you start the meeting. Now start the meeting. Okay. Remember, say hi. Yes. Yeah. And one thing that impressed me about Stephen Curry is that he goes in and says hi to everybody. Hey, Brooke. Yeah. So, of course, it's a game, but, it's a nice model. And then, there's some of the Warriors didn't do very well last night, but that's another thing, right? Yeah, so, right there, you're thinking turn now. Say hi. Say hi. Yeah, positive. Then receptive comes in. Izanagi Izanami. Essentially, doesn't make it easy. He liked the fancy words, all right? If I'm this way, I'm trapped, all right? The whole front. It's like a well-oiled hinge. It's not a hinge. It's just frozen in one direction. The attitudinally. Okay? Complete? Complete. Okay? Okay. All right. Everybody line up here. Okay. And we're going up front back, but there's always an Izanagi Izanami. Okay, you're gonna have a left, right, right, left. Let's now, for example, here you see the up, settle under. There's an up. Okay. Izanagi Izanami. Although here you could argue this is Izanami Izanagi. Okay. Okay. There's an under, or essentially you might say earth, heaven, heaven, earth. You like to speak pretty big, up, down. Now we're in such a rush to get to heaven, but we don't appreciate the earth. The under. It's not just the up and the down. They have a balance. They're communicating. Yeah, that way. Okay. So let's just drop a bit. Now the action. You just the obvious, but less obvious to set that up. This is the obvious, less obvious. You gather, settle, and then that. Okay, so let's different partner. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Now that's so fast, you might miss that he's not just doing that. He's catching the under, right? See, we get caught with that because that's obvious, but there's a less obvious. The obvious is up, but there's an under to that. All right? Okay? Fine. If I brush the upper, I missed half of it. The unseen view, right? Okay, good. And it's a beat, a subtle beating, where you start the raising motion. Yeah, okay, now. And when you start to raise, you start to lift. It's not a lift. It's energy moving. Okay, good. Starts out really well, then you start to get easy. Okay. Okay, so you're going to plant a seed, and then the time lapse photography. You know that feeling a little bit, right?
Yeah.
The good one, you hardly feel
Yeah.
the weight there. You feel the energy moving. Okay, better now. That little bit of a blip. Easy there. Yeah, that one. That's what you want is muscle memory. Yeah. What's happening for you, you're pulling in to lift. Now, what I want you to do, well, none of this, but not just that, earth, heaven. Izanagi or Izanami, Izanagi, which is somewhat subject to. Oh, yeah. See, that one, you didn't feel my weight hardly at all, did you? That's flow. That's connection. That's our game. Okay? Okay, good. Now, the reason it's so good is he's got a really good under. Okay, that's less obvious. Oh, yeah. In fact, he almost has me before I grab. Oh, all right. That's why it's so quick, right? That's not where it's at. Yeah. And then this. Okay. Yeah. Look at the Warriors, which are a mess right now. There's Klay Thompson hitting the shot, and there's Klay Thompson waiting for an opportunity to take a good shot. Okay. Clay was the reason we botched up last night, but you know, that's another matter. Anyway. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody stretch your legs since we're down there. We're okay. All right. Whichever the movement, there's always an Izanagi Izanami. Now the other thing is that a good one flows. Izanagi Izanami, in balance, create flow. All right. I'm trying to do it with one half. We need both. Okay. Or conversely. Okay. It's just that, the under, the support. I mean, you know, Osensei, I actually, a person would have liked Osensei is Carl Jung. But, you know, Osensei kind of had a speech where he was talking about the Shinto kami, the gods and goddesses in Aikido class. And they go, what's this, you know? Ah. And so, you know, this is more like we're so primed in the upper let's say the God archetype, that we know archetype of the goddess, under, deeper, more nurturing. Don't rush it. I mean, too much of a rush to actually feel.
Right.
In fact, it's not so much a feel as a sense feeling. Okay? He may be coming in expecting a harshness back, but what he gets is a softer, more inclusive connection. That's kind of the, let's just say the under. The upper tends to be, and we're really not talking about male, female, but we're saying the upper tends to be more authoritarian. The under is a bit more supportive. You need a balance. Okay? I'm too quick. Okay, so let's change partners and just do the standing version of it, okay? And you know, Wada, good, okay. Wada, good. Wada, good. See, the speed of it comes from the depth of the under. So the okay, all right. All right. So we're just gonna, this is the obvious, but less obvious. The under support. The under kind of nurtures. He's afraid to take a step, but the mother goddess says, I support you. I'm going to help you get started here. As opposed to, you better do that. All right. Easy there. Okay. Well, let's change partners. Just standing, just working on that. Under the earth to heaven connection. Okay. Huh? Man, it's quite a, okay. You're trying to move him. You're trying to move him before you get this the connection. And then the movement comes out of the connection. You're trying to move him, establish the connection, and then the movement. Okay? And again, that starts with the under. Yeah, yeah. There's a certain amount of out. But this is kind of like the heaven, earth, earth, heaven. See, there's a beat, heaven, earth. Okay? But there's also another beat, earth, heaven. Earth, heaven. And then the motion starts. It doesn't start this way. It kind of starts with the vertical. Okay. Okay, now turn your hips. Yes. You feel? Yeah. It flows, doesn't it? So now right there, you're tensing your elbows, which means you're trying to lift me. Don't. Establish the energy. The energy. Your energy and my energy are creating this motion. The second you try to lift me, it's you trying to move me. And what happens is you become the center, I become the circle, and there's a natural motion when they're in balance, okay? Okay? Okay. You're on a phone booth. I love that first movie. It was a 1978 Superman movie. Yeah, where he's the first time he's looking at Superman, he's looking for a phone booth, and they don't exist anymore.
Right.
But he doesn't use the phone booth to hide. He uses the phone booth to become who he really is. Okay, no. Too frontal, too upper. Odin's been telling you who you should be, and you're all messed up. You meet your mom in an end game, and she kind of sets you straight. Easy. Or you're trying to be what your dad says you're supposed to be. Who are you really? Easy, easy, easy. I know. Well, it starts out, then you get in the way by kind of trying to lift. You're in the elevator pumping iron. No, you're in the elevator to get to the penthouse. You let the elevator do the motion. You let the energy. Now we're both in the elevator, but we have a common destination, don't we? It's a blockage there. Not now. Yeah. See, it looks fast because he moves fast, but the actual pace of it, the obvious is fast. Less obvious, it's easy with itself. And breathe, breathe. Open your eye. Now you're pulling back. Easy. Put your hand out. Feel the breeze. Now, my grip is here. Feel the breeze. Oh, yeah. Feel that upward. Oh, no. Time to win to get lost. I'm just going to do it. Easy. 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 And not that much. Get closer, but not. When it tightens up and gets heavy, relax. Right behind that is something good. But if you want to get trapped in this world, you're Howard the Duck. Trapped in a world you never made. It's heavy, it's stupid, it's and I feel for you. Yeah. You don't want to be Howard the Duck unless you want to be Howard the Duck for some reason. Okay. If your emotion is back, push out. Not a push. Not a lift. Good. You're a boat floating on water. Easy. You don't leave the water. But you're in a bathtub and somebody's filling up the bathtub. Now, and you're trying to lift the boat. You are in a bathtub. And there's a boat. What you're going to do is pour more water. All you're going to do is, that's all you're going to do. This is putting more water in the bathtub. No, that's trying to lift the boat. Easy, easy, yeah. We're having a pretty good time together. Until I get in this mood where I got to do it all. And you see what I mean? Okay. 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 Now, what we can do here, stretch. That's a double. Not a little movement here. There's connection. The under, earth, heaven, heaven, earth, right? We're starting to move him. Okay? Heaven and earth are like parents, Izanagi Izanami. Together they create something beautiful. And there are days when they yell at each other and say, who takes out the garbage today? You don't want to be in that state. Izanagi Izanami exists to create harmony. Beauty, a lot of things, right? So what we're doing, Rosie, is that motion. We're just going to stretch for a bit, okay? So, instead of this, okay, different partners. Anyway, let's stand up. I'm sorry to hear about your loss. Okay, yeah, yeah, I've never, I mean, yeah, my sister thought that it was doing fine. I've lost both parents, but I don't know what it'd be like to lose a sibling. Okay, I know it's probably its own level of pain. So it'd be easier. Okay. Yeah, okay, yeah. You're not rushing. Everything is unfolding, right? Not a weightlifting class. It's a group management class. You're managing a team. This is what this part of the team is going to do, and that's what that part of the team is going to do. Easy. You get the executive branch, although the states in this country, man, that is a mess. Huh?
Not as bad off as we did it.
Yeah. You got the lower house. And right now they're communicating. This is different than our world. What does this mean? It needs vision, intellect, and it needs the ability to communicate and organize development. Your right and your left represent Izanagi Izanami. Now we're giving them a heaven-earth direction. Okay. Other than that, you're just executive is fighting Congress. Yeah, that happened. Right now, this country's not a good model for anything other than hopefully we endure this and democracy continues. Okay. But you're your own democracy. In fact, one thing Osensei said was, Aikido is true democracy. What is democracy? Hey, one, it takes intelligence. Two, communication. Doesn't it? Right? Easy, easy, easy. Good. Now, nice, easy rotation. Here. Okay, now, wait. What do you want to call it? Right? Not good. You know, just what doing fit. It's a very masculine. Easy. Watch the hand. Easy. Okay. Okay. That's okay. It's great. And of course, I would maybe, and the guy who translated his words from Japanese. But then I the holidays today, and she said, "The literal." So I thought, well, what is democracy intelligence? I see, okay, that's what a lot of people do. That's right. Think, think, yeah, no, no. It's in a democracy. People think to make to do hopefully. No, it's not. It takes to some degree, it takes all you want is your faction, and it's not democracy anymore. It's Izanagi, okay? So, and it takes, got the votes, so screw, it's not democracy, although, well, listen, this will think a kind of awful list we have to say. I thought of, okay, for one, maybe you can pull it down. Yeah, that's what a lot of people want. And might be more fun. The important wants to rule. Ah, hmm, it's cool. It starts in education, okay? I know it's crazy, but yeah, it's, it's a okay? So I'm talking about again. It's not, well, yeah, sure, you can. We're not, we make sort of an, you maybe, yeah, our focus more on hip hop with people that just know what we're going to do here. Ah, sometimes, just take a little bit, just pull back for a bit. If instructive, I can go down and think I'm in, okay? All enough. If I say things wise and we don't want to be that. Okay, you can choose to go for it. Let me just proceed for it. Just that I see that we should get me. It takes intelligence, determination, cooperation, right? This one, the other one is important. And We're not talking pagan, we're talking, you know, who could hold to knock her down. It's easy. Sometimes but you have that. So keep saying, yeah, go into this. Okay. Over set up. Okay. Now we've become other box. And that's much more about that. There's a- These are not, you haven't noticed, are not but a little bit more of a I'm all not like out of and her. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. 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 Yeah. That's good. That's good. Now that's a variation. It's a variation. Well, that's very thin. It's still yeah, it's a very not a bad variation. You just don't know. Yeah. Once you can it should of minority drive okay. Listen. That's able to be full. This hand wants and everything. Okay. It's about and yourself. Right? You know, right? The body's turning. What was you listening? You still have, but instead of saying, this was of a human being, oh, got it. And stop. No, you want to quit. For me, but then you shut the door, and then what? Oh, yes. This is what you're going to do right here is right here. Well, this is protect yourself a little bit if you can do this. Not yourself there for the next life. And as soon as you contact me, you know, after I think that you can say, oh yeah, so you're not in control. All of a sudden I'm listening lower. I don't, these are not coming from the living group, but in great Japan, being created. You know, West stuff tends to go, oh, God, it's not spoken, right? But, and you know, this is not just crazy stuff. Oh, right? Just, yeah, it was God and goddess. Okay? Nagi, this is a very difficult word. He's somewhat intelligent in a kind of, right? Yeah, it was not, not easy. No, yeah. Now, when you're about, we're all the things together before, right? Yeah. What thing? I just read a book, buyers, this works, and fascinating with, you know, it's very, I mean, we're talking in terms of that's terms that were a, they were Shinto. that- I'm not saying in spiritual science, okay? And it, you see about Izanagi Izanami, oh, this is early 1840s. He was really excited about it. It was showing, you know, the whole state of the, those are essentially mixed models. Old, what he found was certain momentum to include marriage. And so Jungian psychology, number 4 is balance. And so not only is it going to the Trinity, the feminine, and this was talking about, okay, the world to other terms and say like water. Obviously, Izanagi would be the fire, Izanagi would be the water. You can Izanami again. But what to overbalance the upper, I'm not talking about here, the upper masculine energy. And it was a marriage, complete, 3 transformation, 4 balance, 1, 2 is reality, yin, yang, 3, you're a certain process, transformation, but that transformation, right? We achieved through that pretty well. And at that time, oh yeah, of course, don't have Bobby becomes Robert. Will become so essentially he the defensive 1 level 2, 3, player. So Robert becomes now again, I Suzuki was up the top of the talking, and I can read that's how to also with us. He is a danger because, for example, you can be over trying to see you get sickness. If you create this, you can see if I sick, it's not like. And so is that if he have it's with nobody put T I T that active but with harmony you can't it's just me running around being insane. Nobody's I'll just get gone. I got my this one he's done and usually someone sounds like it's good. Very we kind of looked at it as like a joke, right? Let's those are the things that kind of idea for it looks like this. It looks fast, right? All the time, see, it looks fast. What happened? Jack, oh, see, he has army to it. But there's in Izanagi, that is kind of spoken by he. He by itself, by activate. Listen, on a deeper, psychological level, start to think negative thoughts, things, and there's some, which can be psychological, it can be physical, it can be emotional, and what I go sense is about. So what we're doing, what we're doing right here is his energy that I mentioned to you a little bit. We're projecting, huh? If you want to work, okay? So the hoopies, all right? That's visibility and the example. Well, okay, you're very, you're to some degree work hard, very different with culture writing. That's the creative. They have to make it all work. Okay, so let's let's go one thing. Okay, good, 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 good. Good. All the truth is the truth. It's done. Okay, I got to do it. Yeah. Hmm, need to keep it for you. Otherwise, it starts to look weird. Okay, right there. All right. There we go. It's anything. Oh, okay. Okay. Right to here. But it's good. Yes. Yeah. You don't hit that wall. Oh, oh, Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's gonna do it. Okay. Okay. That's good. You get, you get, you can put, it's fun. But, I recommend you do, uh, yeah, you may, but I'm participating in help with him. Done, some go, yeah, yeah, got a movement. That's fine. It's very low, but then I had a thought. I'd rather have somebody come try to hinder me than for the top people. But now, what I want to do, however, come on, okay? For you, I did blow one, and then I'll, well, the flavor of the do this. I'm sorry, in the black, like, yeah, as your hand, from my hip comes the whole thing unfolds. Boom. It's under. Now, a lot of times people say, well, yeah, well, he shot at me. No, remember, straight, one, two, just one, two, four different positions. Uh, uh, okay. I find one, I can't put on it. I just, the way you sleep, get older, you get smarter. Seriously, you take or hip into it here, like form more now. Okay, and then I'm still going to back, but I approach a little different. Okay, well, good, 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 good. Well, you don't have to be a fancy one, but even here, control. It's bring it, but you have to do that and feel the rhythm of it. Okay. Now this takes a little bit more room, so we're going to work in groups of three. Okay. So. Okay. Now, what I want you to do a little bit more, okay? Right here, whether it's going to be the hard fall or not. There's a tension there. Okay. Yeah. I'm stopping to go down.
Right.
I don't want to stop. Come on. Yeah. They can be very gentle control, but if you make move towards me, pow. Okay. So what I want you to do right here, there's still that tendency to stop and do the motion. There's no stop. There's no stop. Okay? If we, like if you stop for spear, there's no stop. There's no stop. Stop this motion. All right. See, if I go like this, it stops. But I go here and here. Okay. I don't know if we can do that, but if you grab the end of it, just the one hand, they're right here. And you stop and you go that way. Well, we're going to go this way. We're going to go that way. Boom, boom. Then I take that step. I don't want to take that step, stop, and then apply pressure for the wrist. It works. Okay? I mean, you know, if you twist the wrist, they fall down. Okay? Until they go out and they don't fall, and then they get pissed off and come in. There's more than just the wrist twist. It's for example, here I don't want to, because there's that set to put the wrist down. Okay? All right? Now, let's just say you got a rock. Okay? And there's water, you drop it, it's going to sink. Okay? But, as long as it's moving, it's not going to sink. Okay, now I don't want to go here, set, all of a sudden I'm a rock, I'm sinking and drawing something else in. Here, I'm a rock skimming over. Okay, so if you kind of come in this direction, go this way, boom, boom, it feels more that way. So when you go here, you phrase it different. You don't go dot set to do that. You know, not that. Not that. Now, what happens a little bit right here is that's also Izanagi. All right, there's a little bit more of a spiral twist to the Kotegaeshi. Kotegaeshi is the hardest body change because what you're really doing is you're taking force is coming at you and reversing it. The Izanagi has that too. If you go this way and go that way, you create a little bit of the same action with a step through. Okay. This stuff tends to be, and you know, what I'm telling you is stuff you don't have to know. You don't have to know it. But one of the things that was nice about training in Shingu was you could have discussions with Kojima Sensei and Ono Sensei and Yanase Sensei about stuff you didn't need to know. And Hikiguchi Sensei somehow was mysterious enough. You looked at him and you're always looking for the stuff you didn't need to know because what he was doing was a bit past what was obvious. So you had to learn how to think and feel. Okay, so examining motion. I go like this and that. It's a little different than right here. You go da da. Da da da. And then if you do that, then you know, there are other fancier changes that come out of that. Okay, right? Okay. Yeah, don't fixate on the wrist. Okay. The only thing we're doing is we're kind of like, we're creating a pivot point. Now picture your other foot forward so you don't, yeah, you're right. Okay, good. If you don't, now pull that foot back. It's the easiest thing to do is just to go, that's where you're opening it. And then you switch to another move. But your foot pattern, to some degree, right here, is something that if you have the other foot back, all right, now what do we do instead of that? Well, maybe what we do is a kaiten, you know, because the flow goes that way better. Okay? I mean, okay, there's a building and there's a door. And you keep looking for the door on the side of the building where the door isn't. Okay? And then when you find the door, it's locked. But remember the thing about key, what you think key magnifies? It's not really locked. It's locked in your mind. And those are the hardest ones. Right? Those are the hardest ones. Okay, so you're stepping into it. Good. Good. Now right here, I create a pivot point. So the hips turn. Now right about here, I'm going to do is take it from underneath. That's the move. Okay. I'm applauding you. Watch how the move's in here. I'll get to here. Hold it. Let's move from the hips. The door is locked. It's locked in my mind. Okay? Yes, we'll go that way. We'll go this one. Now, hold firm like that. I can't reach it. It's locked in my mind. Yeah, yeah. And most things that are locked that are important, locked up here. They're not locked out there. In a lot of, since they said, I see it as true democracy, obviously. Good. But one of the problems we're running into is everybody's mind is locked. So that democracy can't happen. It's a crazy thing. Words, okay, democracy. No, but I want to. Democracy takes intelligence. It takes a certain willingness to make it work, which means, you might have to say, for the good is good, I'm going to support what you do. As opposed to, I can out-shout you. I can, doesn't work. So it's not working right now. So what? Bringing Aikido energy into the world. So we have more. Okay, right? And one of the most difficult things is the door is not locked except in my mind. Okay. Yeah, if he's coming to get out right here, then it's like that. Oh, right about here. For example, we got another movement. I'm just going to turn my hip a little bit and then add it again. Okay. I tried to put him there. Too much weight. I'm going to shift the angle a little bit so it flows that direction. So, a lot of times what we create is just really, we create the locked door in our mind. Now, if there's no door, that's another issue, isn't it? And sometimes certain buildings don't have a door. But on the other hand, that's a stupid building. Right? Well, yeah, I'm going to build a building with no door. That's going to be hard. Okay? Anyway. Okay. Anyway, what we're doing is actually pretty hard. Okay? And one of the other things, for example, here, off of Ryote, all right? This is called reverse kodagai. And then now what I'm doing is a standard toward a guy she's from an attack where it's kind of hard. First of all, go to here. Now don't let me do that. Okay? I don't want to move my hands. I want to turn my hip to get here. Okay, now I can't break free, but what if I just relaxed and twisted my wrist? Come on in. Easy. See, a lot of things are easy, but we make them hard. And there are certain things that are really hard because they're so simple. Okay? And what happens is a lot of times, you know, the upper, we say masculine, I'm really talking about gender at all. It's about intellect. It's about, but the lower feminine, or I say goddess archetype, is about feel. You know, I mean, the upper masculine tends to want everything yesterday. The deeper feminine goddess is patience. Thor, that's who you're supposed to be, says Odin. Freya, Thor's mom, says, Thor, listen to the wisest person in Asgard. You're a mess right now because you've been trying to be what your father has told you got to be, but you got to find who you really are. It might be that, and it might not be, or it might be that later, but you haven't done the development for it. And so you're miserable. Now come on in, sir. Keep rotating. We got this motion here. At that time, he didn't elevate, so I didn't flip him. If he comes at me, right? Okay, good. We got that motion. You somewhat control the narrative. You know, Zuke. It's entertaining to fly through the air. But you might be not in a condition to do it, in which case you receive the stretch, you go that way. Okay? When you put your intent, then it's usually to fly through the air. Now there is a torque there. Okay? In other words, you know, if we go to this, and he just plants right there. Stay where you are. I'm not going to follow through on it. But right about here, boom, it breaks. Which doesn't do anybody any good. I lose a student, he gets hurt. So, okay, is learning how to generate that torque and be a part of it so they can learn it. Now, what's the torque? The torque, to some degree, Izanagi Izanami have to sort of dance together. It's really fun. Okay, so as he's coming in this direction, then it's like boom. Izanagi Izanami doing a fancy dance. It's really cool. It's a harmony here, an absolute accord with each other. Now, on the other hand, I feel that torque. I can sit, or when I go, oh, I'm going to pursue, then that torque should be genuine. It's not dance, although it can be like dance. It's still what ultimately called Budo. Okay, martial art, martial way, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Notice how right here, I actually had that little extra twist. So I'm forming a, this is the regular triangle base point. All of a sudden, this becomes the base and backward becomes the point. What does that allow me to do? I take two big steps. And again, I use the water analogy with a rock. I drop the rock, it sinks. I throw the rock with a certain amount of velocity, it skims. So I'm going to do that motion, boom. Dee-dee, without rushing to dee-dee. Okay? All right, let's go one more time on that. Be careful. This is a very beautiful technique. If you kind of examine it, you know, past that, okay, I twist the wrist, create pain, and throw people. Okay? And on the other hand, this one, really, I talked to Robert Fraser Sensei, and we said, you know, this is the most difficult Tai Sabaki. Why? Because most of the other stuff, see, we turn and go that way. All right? But this one, what you're really doing is boom. See, he's going that way, and you're generating that motion. So it's the hairpin turn without the stop set. You can't set and go back this way. It has to be one. Okay? It's like Stephen Curry going, he throws the ball against the wall, it bounces back. He throws the and he can practice like he's receiving the pass. Now, if he goes this way, and the ball is deflated, it's not going to bounce back. It's a fully inflated ball, dati, dati. You get some version of both senses, it's mountain echo. Mountain echo, Izanagi Izanami. Izanagi Izanami. That's what the Kotegaeshi is. Okay? Let's go one more time. Keep the same partner. You need something. Don't think so. No. Now, right here, for example, it gets dicey. So instead of pressing here, you rotate the hip. You're reading different way. Yeah. See, the movements actually are really hard. You can get the gross, I mean, you can pass Q test and Dawn test with them. But to really understand them, they're algorithms. You know what I mean? So, okay. Okay. So we're going to try a related movement. We got a couple minutes. So the same setup. Now here I'm visible to him, but if I take another step and rotate to here, it starts to look funny. Now right here, this is important. It's like the cortical wrist. Turn in on me. Right? Just stay behind the line of the shoulders. Turn in. It creates a clothesline when we go. So there's timing. We try to, okay. There's a clothesline. Run under it. Do something spectacular. You know, you're going to look at the clothesline. Okay? And you're going to go, I'm not going to run under that. Right? But get up and go that way. Go. Good. It's when you create the clothesline, you need some interest there. Okay? Now here, what do? I rotate the hip. Now right here, what I'm going to do, take a step, lead him down. Now, I'm still behind him when he looks for me. That's when the clothesline comes in. There's still a psychological interest there. You can't clothesline somebody that doesn't have an interest. You can take a club and knock them out. That's effective. But I don't know if psyche, you know what I mean? Okay, so let's use the same motion and go through into the Izanagi, last technique. The one thing I kind of want to say right here, for example, okay. Now you still see me, there you? Yeah, okay. Now I just turn my hip. Now when you start to look for me, good, that's a clothesline. But it's important to, you know, because it's a physical emotion there, but this is psychological. That's the other thing. Well, since they really was talking deep psychological stuff, using, you know, imagery from the Shinto religion, right? Here, to go this way. Now, you turn and look at me. Okay, I'm going to go. Now, again, it's the Batman Commissioner Gordon saying, turn and look, okay? And then when you're looking for me, well, that's an important one right there. There's a timing that is very important. And there's a connection which has a type of special tension to it. It's not conflict. It's creative tension. You see what I mean? And that's important. That's the kodagai-shi. You don't want to. Now, there's an area where you're working with somebody that's, you know, you want to be humane, but you can be humane this way and just tell it, make them just sit. And see, so that way, you're inputting something there that you know, because it's funny, it's still Budo, you know what I mean? But we can do that very, very intelligent by communicating and everything. And the tricky thing right here is almost the same thing. If you go here, if I set to work the wrist, no, it continues. Then we do the skimming rock. You see what I mean? And when I do this, the rock sinks. You see what I mean? And so right about here, it skims. And then you still have that there, huh? And then, you know, let's just say we go here, we go boom, let's just now when you're here, it's the same. It's the same creative tension. Now, you know, you can look at it and say that's control. Yeah, it kind of is. But good training, you know, you can take somebody that's new and you back off and off. But you switch to them and get them to appreciate that because it's a dialogue, not just one person, right? We're in a project where there's a lot of creative tension energy that's going to lead to something good, right? And so, you know, those are just a couple things, okay? Right? Yeah. Yeah. One thing right there, okay? You have to give him space to want to look for you. It's a really, I'm giving you space. When you look for him, that's the clothesline. There's a lot going on in terms of the actual sense of it. You see what I mean? So you're right in the right position, but you don't want to close the system out. You want, where is it? That's the clothesline. I mean, basically, if, for example, you're not really an attacker, I'm in a very good position. Boom could do something to deal with you if you just freeze it. But if you're an attacker, you're all right. Now, if you're coming in this direction, you flip the motion. All right, you come in this direction, flip the motion. Now, if you're not coming in, just stand there. There's not going to do much, is it? I might hit you in the face if you're upset. But if you're coming this direction, good. That's the clothesline in a more direct, an older style. Right? If you come in this direction, we'll come this one. Then we go this way, an older style. But it's the same thing. We come in this way. And then what you find is that there's a necessary tension there that's creative. And most of the time what happens is that, you have that in you, but I'm stifling it. You've got to want to explore, find out, if you do this, what happens, right? And then, you understand that psychological shift. It's not just a physical movement game. Okay? Huh? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, some of the stuff we did today, we were kind of working the Izanagi Izanami. Okay. And, which is funny. I think, Sensei told Nado Sensei, when you're working Yin Yang, Izanagi Izanami, said you could argue Izanagi is right, Izanami is left, or vice versa. It's just that you got to realize it takes two. They said, don't be sloppy. If you're going to say right, left, or you're going to say left, right, then you have a working model. But he said it's very flexible. And one of the things that we run into is either or both and. And at a certain time, when you get to a certain level, like let's say Sensei was, it's both and. Who are you? Are you Ueshiba Morihei, or are you the universe? And you might say something like, I'm Ueshiba Morihei, one with the universe. Or you might say both and. Universe is inside everybody. We just have to find it, nurture it so that it's not just a thought, but an actual reality. Okay. And if we saw the universe inside us, we'd be a lot more accepting, at the same time discriminating. Discrimination is important. There is right and there is wrong. And, it's like, I judge this to be, discrimination is very different. Okay. I was reading Tadaharu's autobiography, and he said something interesting because he took Aikido lessons from O-sensei, but they wouldn't let him train. So, basically, he and his coach would work on the stuff O-sensei said to work on. Okay. And at one point, to really go further into that, Sadaharu O's coach, Mr. Adakawa, enlisted them both during the off-season into a sword school. So they were cutting with live steel. And what Sadaharu O said, and something you got to realize if you read that book, it's a beautiful book. And it's very Japanese. You understand Japanese mentality, especially Japanese male mentality. That's a beautiful book. Okay, Aikido is more than what he said. But one of the things he said, you can take a baseball bat and be sort of half-assed at it. But you draw a real sword, and it kind of has a gleam to it. When you cut, it whistles in the air. It says you can't do that half-assed. And you have to understand how the laws of the sword work. And so what he did, he studied the sword, and then he tried to take that same approach of baseball. Brought the spirit of the sword into his baseball. Okay? So in that way, what he brought is this necessary creative tension. Okay? Yeah. You know, you find your center, find a project that you're interested in. Ideally, Aikido is one of them. And yeah, we're not Japanese and we're not going to war with live steel, but there's something about that. So what I realized there is that that's a good approach, okay? And Mr. O might have been, I was going to say, his best student, because he could do things that, you know, like a sensei could do the stuff with his stick. Well, Mr. O could stand on one foot in his batting stance when three guys pushing him couldn't budge him. There's a bunch of stuff there that in some sense, you know, and what he found was, you know, standing on one foot and hitting a baseball from that posture starting it. He said he had to work constantly because it couldn't, okay, now I understand it. No, the next day, if he didn't adjust for what was happening day to day, then he realized he wasn't very good. Okay? So what his reward for all that was just constant improvement. All right, that was it. And so we studied the sword to have that. Now it's a very difficult spirit to have. Most of the time, I would think that in this culture, if you're too much like Mr. O like that, you're going to stress out. Okay, so you got to be a little easier with things. Okay, and I think O-sensei didn't want people running around carrying sharp steel, talking about ancient Buddha, although I think there was a part of him that was very much like that. He wanted Aikido to make this a better world. Okay, so it's balancing. And so reading that book, there's a whole bunch of stuff in there. I just picked it up the other day and was looking at it, and there's a lot of stuff in there, you know, if you really appreciate the male Japanese thing. But you also have to realize there are other approaches. All right, other paths at that mountain. Anyway, let's stop. Okay, thank you very much. And in case I haven't heard, Ichen's sister passed. Okay, and that's a very, very trying time. I told her I've had both parents pass, but I haven't had a sibling pass. And so it's probably its own journey. But, you know, I do general prayers for people. Like I still have Frank Sylvie Sensei in my prayers, and I still include your sister in the prayer because they're on a journey. You know, you can argue, you know, the physical death is the end of it. It's the end of some things, but, you know, when my cat passed, you know, we tried to get her, you know, put the ashes and everything, and they were just too slow, so she died before we could take her in. We had a scheduled appointment, but, you know, she would try to get up and walk, and she would just collapse. So I picked her up and held her, and she passed in my arms. But what was interesting about it, well, interesting, it was still sad, but liquid light passed out of her. Okay, so, you know, physical death is physical death. We really don't know what's past it. And, you know, when I do my prayers, I just still continue to put Frank Sylvie Sensei in there and say he's on his journey. And also your sister. Okay, she's on her journey now. I'll continue to keep her there. Okay, thank you. Bye.